But what we need to do now is we need to get the companies on our computer that we are going to need to work through our textbook. So our next step, which is completely separate from installing QuickBooks, our next step will be to go to D2L, sign into our course, go to Content, and let's download the file we need to get our sample companies. Let's go to Content, the module that says Installing QuickBooks and the Sample Companies. Then we have a link here that says All Chapter Student Files. So let's click it, tell it to download. I realize your D2L screen may look a little bit different than mine, but I think you can follow. Again, mine's going to the folder called Downloads. Yours may be set to go somewhere different, and I'm going to save it. If you look in the bottom left corner of my screen, it is now going to slowly be downloading this file. This is a big file. It's probably going to take about an hour to download on my computer, so I would expect it to be comparable on yours. Well, it's taken a while, but it looks like the end is in sight, and I think our file is almost finished downloading now. Hooray! It is finally finished. What we want to do now is to navigate to that file. In my case, it's in my Downloads folder. And I want to point to where it says All Company Files, and I'm going to right-click. I'm going to select Extract All, and this is what's really important. Now we've got to get these files to be extracted to the correct location. I'm going to click Browse. I'm going to click the plus sign beside Computer because I need to get to my C drive. I'm going to click the plus sign beside C. I'm going to scroll down till I see Users, and I'm going to click the plus sign beside Users. Now within that I see a folder called Public. I'm going to click the plus sign beside Public. Within that there's a folder called Public Documents. I'm going to click the plus sign beside Public Documents. Now I see QuickBooks. Now if perchance it has the plus sign beside it, I'll have to click that, otherwise it may be open already. And then within the QuickBooks folder you should see a folder that says Company Files. Now let's tell it OK. Look in this browse box. It should say C:\users \public \documents \intuit \QuickBooks \company files. If it doesn't have that location, repeat the process. Again, it needs to be in the C drive in a folder called Users, within that a folder called Public, within that a folder called Documents, a folder called Intuit, QuickBooks, and Company Files. I'm going to tell it to extract, and it's finished. Now we want to see if it worked. Let's go back to QuickBooks. You may still have Rockcastle Construction open, or you may just have to go to a new window. But I'm going to tell it File, Open or Restore, and I'm going to tell it to open a company file, tell it Next, and now I've got to navigate to that same location where I just unzipped the files. So I need to be in the C drive. I need to be in a folder called Users. I'll double click that. A folder within that called Public. I'll double click that. A folder within that called Public Documents. I'll double click it. Within that a folder called Intuit. Within that a folder called QuickBooks. And within that a folder called Company Files. Now within that we have another folder called All Company Files. Double click All Company Files, and now you see a list of companies. You can scroll through them. You can click right here, which will sort them by the name, ascending or descending order, but you should see a long list of companies right here. If you don't, something's wrong. We need to look at it and get it fixed. I'm going to click one, just tell it to open. It needs to update my company, that's fine. When you go to open your company, it is going to require that you enter a password. Now, in the real world, that's important. You want to make sure no one else can access your data. For our purposes in the classroom, it's kind of an inconvenience. So I want everyone to use the exact same password. They require that it have an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, and a number. So here's what I want you to use for your password every time. So we're all going to use the same password, which will allow me then to open your company once you submit it to me. We also are required to select a challenge question. I want you to everyone choose the same question, and that is the city where we went to high school. I realize you may not have attended high school around here, but for consistency so that I can open everyone's company, I want you to enter Columbia. Tell it OK, and now our company is open. I'm going to tell it no to this external accountant question. And just to remind you, when you go to open a company, again, File, Open Company, or you may get that on the Start menu when you're just starting QuickBooks. Next, it should automatically go to the folder that you used last time. It should automatically. But when in doubt, here is a specific location where your company files are loaded to. And that is the C drive, Users, Public, Public Documents, Intuit, QuickBooks, Company Files, and then all company files. Hope that helps you get your software loaded and also your sample companies loaded. If you have any questions or any problems, please contact me just as soon as possible, because you're going to need both the software and the sample companies to start working through our textbook. Hope you enjoy learning about QuickBooks this semester.